Catholic Church.
Well, your biggest landowners are, yes, the Catholic Church, but that's not has a bunch. Donald Trump has a whole bunch of empty buildings along the West Side Highway.
Right,
when 50,000 New Yorkers are going to bed homeless every night.
But
that's despicable.
That's Trump.
As a human being, how do you have empty buildings when 50,000 people, a lot of them veterans and mental patients, are sleeping outside in the cold?
Are you blaming Trump for that? What's the city government for? Why is it so hard to build or fix anything in the city without 50,000 permits to do it?
Well, that's because you had another billionaire in office who worked with these wonderful, wonderful real estate developer people. And by the way, Donald Trump is in favor of eminent domain, and people need to realize what eminent domain does. The Barclays Center in Brooklyn was built through eminent domain. That gives the government the right to take your property, and Donald Trump keeps saying it's for things like Keystone Pipeline. No, so far eminent domain's been used to build the Barclays Center in Brooklyn for a Russian billionaire, Mikhail Pokadov, who owns the Nets, even though everybody thinks it's Jay-Z. Jay-Z does not own the Nets, but I digress. Eminent domain was used to take homes from people in Texas to build the Texas Rangers Stadium.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what they do.
And of course he's...
But
so of course Trump's going to be in favor of that.
That's government's fault.
Oh, also, I just want to mention that the Seneca Village, which were a lot of the free Africans, as well as post-African slaves in the 1800s, they basically lived where we know the modern-day Central Park, and they basically kicked them out on eminent domain.
That's who lost homes in Brooklyn, because that was like Fort Greene, Clinton Hill area in Brooklyn, which were black homeowners who owned their brownstones outright, who had been there since the 60s, and they came in and said, hey, we need your land for what is of public interest, to build a stadium for the Brooklyn Nets. A crappy basketball team at that. Really? This is what's so important. You need to take somebody's home?
But that's what it is. The government's ace in the hole.
But they're in together.
I'm not for it, but I'm like, if you don't like it, don't just blame Republicans for it. Get the damn Democrats to the president and get rid of it. But they're not going to do it. It's too good for them.
But Donald Trump is in favor of this. He wants more of this.
Stadium. Why do they want stadiums? It generates jobs.
No, it doesn't. It generates very crappy jobs. Do you want to be selling peanuts and popcorn at a stadium? How much money do you think?
I thought you get $10 here in the damn Coliseum.
You can't live, and you cannot live in a Trump apartment on $10 an hour. As a matter of fact, you can't live anywhere in New York City on $10 an hour.
What are you gonna do? Get out of New York. What do you want?
And go where? These developers are buying up stuff everywhere. In the last year, I've traveled to Washington, D.C., to Miami, to Houston, to New Orleans. It's the same thing in every single town. Luxury condos. They're pushing people out. Where do they go?
Good. I got it. Now, what are you gonna do about it? How are you gonna fix it?
Well, that is a good question. First of all, I'm not voting for somebody who wants eminent domain to build a stupid stadium. I'll tell you that. Yeah. And anybody who does can, blame themselves when their house gets taken away.
But that doesn't solve the problem. That didn't answer my question.
Well, that prevents future eminent domain house seizures. For future stadiums.
I understand, and you're passionate about feeling that's good. I admire that. I'm like that too. But you know what? I know they're not going to take it away. It's the government's trump card. It's the ace in the hole. Okay? They're not going to take it away. You can complain.
Wait, they're not going to take what away?
Eminent domain.
Unless the people, see, and that's the whole problem. People need to get informed and do something about it.
Chair? Come on, they got to save their money for Kanye.
That's right. We got to contribute to Kanye. That is exactly the point. I mean, that's what we need to be doing, is educating people and waking people the hell up.
Like this. This is what's important.
What do you guys think of the Trump versus the Pope controversy?
No, I think he's out to piss everybody off, seriously. He's got a bad word for everyone. So now it's Catholics' turn. gotta tell, I'm not Catholic, but I do like Pope Francis because I think he's doing tremendous things that boldly going where no pope has gone before. Trump started out saying he's too political. Well, every preacher is political. When you go to one of those super churches in the South that have like 60,000 members in the congregation, they tell you who to vote for. Matter of fact, Liberty University just endorsed Trump, which is hilarious since he apparently thinks 2 Corinthians is 2 Corinthians. Tells me the man's never read the Bible in his life. But so how can you say the Pope is too political when every president, since Carter's, or probably before Carter, was consulting with Billy Graham. Like he was like the official U.S. religious voice.
The Corinthians make nice leather. The post is kind of, I don't know, a little off. Telling gun manufacturers that they're not Christians and they make guns and there's a security detail with guns. Telling them that Christians build bridges and not walls, and yet the walls
But
around the
that is a
Vatican.
Christian thing to say, right? To build bridges and not walls?
And meanwhile, the walls around the Vatican were built to keep the Muslims out. What else did he say that was off-Easter? What was it?
And I don't think there were that many Muslims in the Vatican.
Yesterday he said to ban the... Yeah. What? I'm saying everything was true. Yesterday the Pope said to ban the death penalty, and yet he went and supported abortion. So...
No. The Catholic Church is very much against abortion.
No, he supported part of it. He did it. I'll find you the article, and I'll
Yeah, because they're...
My Facebook thing. I gotta like it. I get a lot of like spam.
Well, the quote that the Pope said in reference to someone asked him about what he thought about Trump's policy in reference to Mexico, and the response was,
we should be building bridges.
well, no, he didn't say we should. He said that anyone that is more concerned with building walls than building bridges is not a Christian. So, I don't think that was a very literal, that, first of all, he didn't specifically say Trump, even though he was responding to it. And he said should be more concerned with. So I believe that reaching out and communicating and solving, I don't really believe it was a literal thing with walls and bridges.
And it goes back to diplomacy. That's the idea. You start out by talking, not, I'm going to build let's think about this. No other country has built a bridge since we had since the Berlin Wall, which kind of makes me wonder, is this to keep other people out or keep us in? Where are we going with this? I don't want a wall, honestly. I want to be able to cross a border whenever I want.
China's got a wall.
Believe it was figuratively, not literally.
Yeah. Well, I know, but the joke didn't work that way, Mike.
See, that's why this is one big reality show, Trump.
It sure is. Only we can't vote anybody off. That's the problem with this reality show.
The more he gets criticized, it's like a Teflon Don. Nothing sticks to it.
Oh, he can stand in Fifth Avenue and shoot people, and people will still vote for him. I mean, to me, it's mind-boggling.
There's been 2 primaries since he said that, and he's won them. I mean,
it's unbelievable. It's mind-boggling. That's the only thing I have to say.
Hillary, I forgot to tell you that Hillary was originally for the TPP.
Well, remember she had gotten funded from Monsanto, so
she was for it, and just recently. I think last week, somebody told her say no.
Well, think she's backpedaling on a lot of stuff to get Bernie's support from young people, and sadly, pulling out Gloria Steinem and Madeleine Albright wasn't a very smart move. You're not going to reach young women pulling out Madeleine Albright, who's like 900 years old.
Right.
But
and then insult them by saying they're going to go to hell. I mean,
yeah, exactly. But, well, and to me, it's this kind of mentality. Like, I don't think African Americans should vote for Ben Carson just because he's black. So I don't think women should vote for Hillary just because she's a woman. That's ludicrous to make that kind of a statement.
But before we go, do you think Trump can win?
what?
Because we have
Yeah.
like 2 minutes left. Do you think Trump will win the to be the president of the United States of America?
No. And if he does, I'm ready to go to Cape Breton, Canada. I'm very glad they made that little website.
We're not going to go anywhere. It's still the best country in the world. We're not going to go anywhere. We've been saying that for decades. Come on. We've had to sit through other presidents we didn't like, and we're just fine.
Do you think Trump will win, Dean?
I don't know, but I can't rule it out. I can't rule it out because if it's going to be between him and because I've talked to a few of my friends who are Democrats, very few, but they told me they don't like Hillary and they don't like Bernie.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people will really bear in mind the seriousness of this. And
They told me the best thing, and I told them I'm going to use it. I said I'm not voting for Trump. I'm voting against Hillary and Bernie. That's what they told me.
which is ludicrous because by voting for him, you're voting for him. You know, like that's
Right, no, but it's also saying that it goes back to what I said way before. You can thank the Republican and Democrats for Trump winning.
well, and that's something else because all the cards aren't on the table yet because Trump could still run as an independent, which he keeps threatening to do.
That's a dumb thing because he's going to split a ticket like Ross Perot did.
Like Ross Perot did in 1992, exactly.
If Ross Perot did not do that, Bush had a good shot at beating Clinton.
Right. So I'm kind of hoping he does. Go for it, Donald. You can do it. Do it.
No.
This is getting hot, and I'm sure by next week it'll be hotter. I think we should go into Hillary next week.
Yeah, let's see if Gloria Steinem's
cool,
got
man.
anything else to say.
That was good. That was good timing. All righty. All right, you're watching POLITIRIXX. That's right, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Always a pleasure, Soledad.